Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before thank you for Mr. Eka Wahyudi as the mentor and friends who I'm proud of who have come to this presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Izzul Fikri, student identification number 182010020. In this opportunity, I would like to present PKL about quality control on assurance and installing new connection PSP in City Semarang. First, I will explain about the background. 1. Quality control is monitoring the development of all products produced by the company. 2. Many requests click in new connection and customers will have installed the connection experience in person to the service. So, from the company trying to correct the mistakes that occurred. 3. Service quality is the main thing that needs to be considered so the customer get satisfaction from internet service. 4. Result from activities quality control will create and materialize on service to customer that corresponding with the target set company. Furthermore, destination. Here are the objectives that will be obtained after completing this practical framework. There are two objectives of the implementation. First is to collect students can practice in a manner live what that has been studied in the work campus. Then the second is getting real new knowledge that has been obtained on campus. Then the purpose of making the report is as a learning material for the reader about practical work and one of the requirements to complete one of the D3 Telecommunication Engineering study program course at the TELKOM Purwokerto Institute of Technology. Next, furthermore, regarding the research framework, in Chapter 1, understanding the background of the report, the objective and scope of practical work, as well as a description of the general aspect, the institution and method and systematic of writing report. In Chapter 2 contains the theoretical basis relating to the core of the report taken on practical work, such as quality control on new connection, pay, and assurance. In Chapter 3, discussion about process to quality control on in connection, new and assurance in the city of Semarang, start from start early to end to make customer feel satisfied. Then in Chapter 4, it ends with the writing of the job training report, which contains conclusions and suggestions regarding the description of the result of the report. Next, study theory. Understanding production management. Hanyonuke said that production management is an effort to manage the optimal use of production resources. Then there is Sofyan Asari who said that production management is the activity of regulating the use of human resource. Then the definition of quality control. First one, Sofyan Asari said that quality control is an activity to ascertain whether policy is in terms of quality can be reflected in the final result. Agus Ahyari said that activities to maintain and direct the quality of the company can be maintained. And Jati Julie Triarchi said that the activity of knowing the result of implementation, errors, failures, was then carried out reports. And finally, fiber to the home (FTTH) is a form of signal delivery from the ISP (Internet Service Provider) to home users with the transmission medium in the form of fiber optic. Definition of work safety, namely occupational safety and health, is a dog and an effort to ensure wellness and perfection, both physically and spiritual. In developing countries, most occupational accidents and diseases occur in agriculture, timber, mining, and industry. Work accidents are caused due to a combination of various factors such as work equipment, labor, and work environment. A set of safety tools used by workers to protect all or part of the body from possible exposure to potential hazards of the work environment to occupational accident and disease. Here are methods that I use, including the first method of practical, which is done namely supervising, studying, and practicing it directly. Then the second is the observation method, by means of a systematic observation and recording process that is carried out during practical work. Then the third is the interview method, which is carried out by asking several questions to the field supervisor and related parties regarding the material and report material. And the last is literature review, which is looking for some that need as material for reports, ranging from journal, theoretical books, and from trust website. In this section, every possibility and risk related to the company becomes the focus of service to customers, including receiving complaints, monitoring, isolation, connection, removing and handling or resolving problems that occur to customers, both technical and non-technical. Before referring disturbance or installing new connection, what needs to be done by the supervisor is filling out the assessment form. The first is to fill in the quality control implementation date. The second is to fill in the identities of the assessor and technician, along with their NIK. The third is to fill the dates in the location where the quality control process will be carried out, and finally filling in the assessment of the technician work and the quality of the goods. In the quality control process in assurance, the first stage of promise management, a process where technicians contact customers who experience interruption in the home service before heading to the customer home. The second stage, preparation of Alker Circle. Alker Circle is a material support tool used to help the running of the network checking process. The third stage, the use of personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment are tools used to protect themselves from the danger of work accidents. The fourth stage, checking the network, knowing where the source of the disturbance is, whether from a system error or interference from the external environment. The stage, the fifth stage, material change. This stage where the technician connect the fiber optic cable. The last stage, cable pulling, and this is the process of pulling the cable from the pole to the customer house. Next, then the quality control process on installing a new connection. In this process, it is the same as the process in assurance, where initially the appointment management, then the preparation of the AKSES, then the use of personal protective equipment, checking the network, then the next step is checking and attenuation, where the technician perform a damping check measuring the power in the optical signal using an OPM optical power meter tool. The final step is where the technician performs the installing at the customer house or building. In the last section, namely the conclusion and suggestion, my conclusion is drawn from this practical work, namely first, control of the quality of goods and service quality in the form of service can affect how the level of company productivity. Second, after doing quality control, the resulting quality of voice, internet, and image service in every customer house in Semarang city is fairly good, seen from the results of observation in the field. And the advice, namely, is carrying out quality control. A query is needed so that the result of the supervision obtained are very good. Enough of my presentation. I would like to thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen, and my friends. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.